Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Monday. Want to say hey to all my subscribers. New as well this season. I have a word for you. Tap and happy Monday, guys. Happy second recording. Have a download I want to share with you guys. Okay, so this is going to go. Well, here's the thing. It's going to be different scenarios, but ultimately it's going to still come back to the root of the things. Okay, so this can look like, for examples, addictions of all sorts: drugs, alcohol, food, cigarettes, porn, sex, social media, just whatever addictions of all sorts that has a stronghold on you. This can also be an example of someone who has a soul tie or dealing with some type of narcissist relationship and you feel like you're stuck, you're in bondage to it. At the end of the day, whatever it is, it's spiritual, right? It's everything spiritual. Now, how these ties got here spiritually can be, of course, from different reasons. For example, can be, of course, if it's a soul tie or if it's intimacy involved, then obviously spirits transfer, spirits tie themselves, and even metastasize. But it can also be altars, bloodline curses that could have been 100 years ago or even longer, and it's covenants and other things out of ignorance. Ignorance just means not knowing, that's keeping these things manifesting from that particular altar and covenants. This is going to get a little, it might sound a little crazy, but it is what it is. What do you have to lose if you've tried everything else and you seem like you just can't shake this thing? All right, so here's the thing. Everything is spiritual. And this thing is powered one way or another spiritually. You've tried everything in your power. You try to leave it alone, leave them alone, yet this thing keeps calling you back. Your spirit is craving for it. And see, it's one thing if someone wants to stop something and they can't. And it's another thing if some people just feel like, I'm just having too much fun. I know it's not good, or I know it's not this, that, and the third, but I'm just not ready to stop. That's different. Ultimately it's still the same thing, but I'm speaking about things that truly you are ready. You are ready to leave the person. You are ready to leave the relationship. You're ready to put the crack down. You're ready to stop being addicted to porn. You're at work all day, sneaking on. Girl, get it together. You must understand the authority that you have. You got to understand the power in words and the force when it comes down to speaking to certain things. You got to know what you carry. You must speak to the spirit of that thing, and you must call it out for what it is. Here's the thing. Let's say, okay, let's use a couple of examples. Let's say it's crack. You're a full-blown crackhead. Well, that doesn't sound right, Judge Mathis. You have a crack addiction. Excuse me, you've been trying to break this addiction for the last 75 years. Maybe addiction runs in the bloodline of the family. It may not be crack per se, but sadly, the same ones who are addicted to other things will judge you because your addiction is crack. Yet they're addicted to food, they're addicted to alcohol, they're addicted to sex, they're addicted to this, that, and third. But yet they judge you. People, I don't know what's up with that, but in general, people have a tendency of like, they want to kind of like, even with certain sins, like, like, um, never mind, just leave that alone because that's going to go. But they, you know how they try to like vilify certain sins and make certain ones like the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. It's because it's easier for them to deflect rather than realize that they're struggling with some. Just because it's a different something, it's still an addiction. Different something, same pain. So here's the thing. This may sound crazy to some people. Just I really don't care because it truly was just a download. I was not even trying to jump on really quickly. I had plans. I'm happy to be here though, Lord. So whoever this is for will receive it. Now, it would be great, right, to try to conquer the addiction on your own. Let it be through therapy or just fasting or this, that, and third. It would be great to be able to speak to the spirit of it when you're not dealing with it, meaning you're not actively doing it right now. But listen, it is what it is. Try speaking to it even when you're actively doing it. Meaning, for example, the crack is in your hand. See, here's another thing. The enemy will sometimes try to make you feel like God, like you almost like you can't be honest with God, and like you got to try to hide behind a tree because you don't want God to see you smoking crack. And whoo, honey, I see somebody behind the tree right now, literally smoking crack. I mean, in the vision. And so what will happen is, or even religion. So what will happen is you'll find yourself fearful of being honest. And in order to change anything, we have to be honest. Like God is very transparent. Truly. This is why relationship with God is so important, because you will discover some things that are the opposite of what you were taught. Why do you think there are some people who really like fear God? I mean, we need to fear God, but you get the point here. Like, I mean, like fear God. Like they feel like they can't even come to God unless they're perfect and God hates them. So that is not God. God is very loving, very kind, very understanding, especially because he knows how some of these things came about that had nothing to do with you most times. It's altars and covenants and ignorance that's keeping us bound to things and we don't even know it. It's not until we start reaching higher heights that he will start exposing certain things, and more probably particularly because you're the chosen one. So you're called to break it so it stops with you and does not continue with the generation behind you. Let it be your children, etc. Be honest with God. Be transparent with God. Lord, I've been abused all my life. In every way you can think about, Lord. I tried to escape this pain through weed. Then it got to the point where it worked for a while. It just wasn't doing it any longer. That pain was still up in me. So someone said that if I tried ecstasy, it will, well, I don't, does ecstasy? No, never mind. Never mind. Someone said if I try this particular drug or that particular drug, it will. And then, yeah, I tried it for a while and it helped me to block out all that pain and the abuse, the molestation, this, that, and the third. And then I just kept needing more or something. And one day, boom, somebody laced my weed with crack. Or the pain was too much. So I said, I'll try crack. And I just thought to myself, I wouldn't be the one who get addicted to it. And now I'm in bondage to it. It was never my intentions. I thought I could handle it. It crept up on me. I'm a full-blown crackhead. I no longer want to be this crackhead. I need help. I've tried everything. I went to therapy. I went to drug, what do you call it? I don't know. But yet I'm craving this thing. And stay tuned to my people with soul ties. I'm craving this thing. Now, allow God to give you your directions. Now, this is separate. This is coming up now. Allow God to give you your directions. See, this is why it's so important to go to God intimately, rather than like thinking you're going to get, well, I can't say that. I was going to say like you have to go to church to get an answer, and then you get to church and you realize that you don't have an answer because there's no intimacy behind it, or maybe the pastor say one thing and maybe everyone else got it, but that you just didn't get it right. Intimacy is important. God may give you a specific instructions. Okay, here's what I want you to do. Now, again, the religious mind would think this is crazy and insane, and God wouldn't tell you, honey, you don't know God. Or you just never had certain encounters with God. I'll say that. God may tell you something like, all right, I know you're a crackhead. In fact, I know it's very, very dangerous for you to try to just stop this thing cold turkey. So here's what I want you to do. You smoke crack 7 days a week. I'm going to give you the grace. I'm going to give you strength, but you're going to have to work with me. This is a partnership. So starting next week, Monday, I want you to smoke crack on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The following week, two days a week, and so on. Like, meaning you're fasting against it to kill the spirit behind it. Those are just instructions. Mind you, we can't be given 1,000 instructions, but that's just an example. Sometimes he will give you a specific thing designed specifically for you. It's intimacy. All right, but back to the download that I received. Speak to the spirit, even though you're actively doing that thing. Now, again, it would be great to be able to speak to it prior, speak to it when you feel the cravings rising up, speak to that thing. But that's not the download I was getting. Please do that. But the download I was given is speak to the thing even while you're doing it. So let's say the crack pipe is in your hand. Actively smoking. I mean, you got smoke coming out your nose because you can't help it. I bind up and I rebuke the spirit behind this addiction. I bind up and I rebuke the spirit behind the altar. I dismantle this altar in the name of Jesus. See, now religion or people who don't understand certain things will have you thinking, oh, you're going to the pits of hell, honey. You are high on crack and talking to Jesus or speaking, using Jesus' name. Speak to it even while you're in bondage to it. I bind up and I rebuke the cravings. I demand you leave me. Speak to it. Know your authority. Don't worry about what other people will say. What else? What do you have to lose? Okay. So now, of course, again, that can fall in the category of any other addiction. It's the same formula. Speak to it even while you're in bondage to it. Bro, you're at work. You're supposed to be doing work. You up on these people's computer. Like this thing got you in the chokehold. No pun intended. God. I bind up and I rebuke the cravings of porn. Now, please understand, there's still an active part, if you will, to play with this, meaning, right? Don't go into work with the intentions of, I'm going to turn this porn. We're speaking about when it's something that have you seriously in a bondage, like you just can't even help yourself. It's spirits. It's demonic spirits. So you can't play out with it. The whole point is you can't come in agreement to like want to do it. You have to be like seriously done with it and then speak to it preferably before becoming active in it. But if not, speak to it while you're actively involved. Those of you who are in soul ties and things like narcissist. Okay, first of all, we all know intimacy. I mean, come on, like soul ties, right? Just ties. Why do you think when you're trying to leave a person, and even if you don't even like this person, this is how you got to know it's demonic, because it's one thing if you leave a person and you still like the person and like there's some kind of craving or, but you don't even like this person anymore. And there's still a craving and a longing for this person. That's not natural. Those spirits are tied. They're having a party. Now, again, this can also go back to bloodline curses and covenants and altars. It can be things like molestation in the bloodline. It can be things like incest in the bloodline. It could be things like bless you. It could be things like what do you call it? Same sex. I'm just not going there. I'm not going there. I'm just speaking in general. Same sex in the bloodline. But it's still sexual. It's still design. It's still sexual spirits. And now you can't understand why in the world. Why am I having such a difficult time trying to just break this? So again, it could just be because you're just tied to that person because there's intimacy between you and the person. So your spirits are tied, especially if that person or even yourself carries certain demons. So here you are, the chosen one, not perfect, but your little spirit is pure. Not necessarily, but you get the point here. And you hook up with the whole demon. All that demonic stuff that they got going on. And then you wonder why we're crazy. Or we feel like we're crazy. We're carrying other people's demons. So you must speak to the spirit of that thing. So when you're sitting at your desk and all of a sudden, like you really thought you're over this person and that craving starts to, I bind up and I rebuke the spirit behind this craving. I rebuke the spirit behind this soul tie. The spirit, the altar, you got to focus and stay right there. The spirit of it. There's a spirit behind it. And you got to just keep, every time that thing comes, you got to just keep on rebuking, repenting, demanding, commanding, but stand firm on your convictions. Same thing with narcissists. Now, of course, that doesn't have to technically be anybody you're intimate with, but rebuke the spirit behind the narcissism. Narcissism is just a whole demonic spirit, honey. Rebuke the spirit behind the person. See, you'll be fighting with the person all day long because these people are just, oh my God, they're just crazy. They're never going to take accountability. They're going to always twist your words. They're going to have you think like you're going crazy because you're the problem. They're not the problem. All along, they know exactly what they're doing. They're just manipulating you to get you in an uproar because they suck your energy. They suck all of that. Which it feeds them. This is why you must starve them by not responding, cut them off cold turkey, give them absolutely nothing to take and manipulate. If they have nothing to manipulate, then you starve them. Then you start sending flying monkeys after that. Starve the flying monkeys. but speak to the spirit behind it. That's why when you look at them, they look all crazy in the face. Like their eyes look crazy. Nobody's home. Speak to the spirit. So if you have to deal with these nutcases, if you have to, seriously, like you really have to, maybe you got kids with them, still put boundaries with that. But I bind up and I rebuke that demonic spirit behind you. I cast you out. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I take authority. I feed you not. I demand you. Speak to these spirits. Know your power. Know your authority. And if you got to do that 75 times per day, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Words are powerful. Let you grow. Kiss you all.